Hello, my name is Edward Brown of the Courage Image and Charisma Institute, and today I want to talk about developing the charismatic lifestyle during challenging or recessive times. As you've read the newspaper and watched the news, we all experience the same kind of plight economically in this country and throughout the world. And so I started asking myself, what could charisma do, or the charismatic lifestyle do, to assuage currently that's going on the world stage? And I thought about it. And I said that many times it's not necessarily what's going on external to ourselves. It's really where our minds lie way before anything external to ourselves has manifested itself. And so while we don't have control over conditions economically or financially on the world stage, we do have control over our minds and our lifestyle. So what is the lifestyle I'm referring to? And how is this related to charisma? Well, the Courage Image and Charisma Institute defines charisma as the creating of perceptions that impact the mind and emotions of others through flair, finesse, and glib language. In other words, the ability to mesmerize and captivate and capture imaginations just through sheer personality, regardless of what's going on the world stage. So to me, the charismatic personality and the charismatic individual has a plan of action that they've always been following, no matter what's going on the world stage. As quiet as it's kept, charismatic people are isolationists. They feed and get the greatest of their energy and their passion in solitude. Not with a whole lot of people around them or a room full of individuals commiserating. They usually get the greatest impact and productivity in isolation and by themselves. Now, with that being said, I want to give you 3 points of how to develop the charismatic lifestyle. 1. Understand that frugality is not a begrudgingly concept that you take on just because you don't have a lot of resources economically at this time. It's a strategy. Frugality is a strategy to keep you in the game. Now, why and this is important, and what is the game that you're keeping yourself in? Well, charismatic people always have a mission. They always have a focus. They're always seeing something bigger than themselves that they're trying to achieve, so that no matter what's going on in the world stage, they're not affected by it because they've already been in line on their path traveling towards their goals and aspirations. So whatever you are traveling towards, whether it's a financial betterment, college fund for your children, buying a house, or whatever the case may be, that is your mission, and it has to be bigger than you and has a long-term effect of where you want to go in terms of manifestation of your crusade or your mission. That can be on one end. The other end could be starting a new religion, starting a new company, starting a new endeavor. Whatever it is that you're going after, it has to be mission driven. And it has to be in the sense that everything you do has to be thrown towards that mission. For example, your resources, your capital has to be always expended towards how does this affect where I'm trying to get to. So the first thing that charismatics understand is that they live frugally, with frugality being their concept of saying, I'm staying in the game because I'm putting my resources where they belong and will net the greatest investment over a long period of time. Secondly, they have a sense of diversifying their portfolio. That can be an economic portfolio or a vocation portfolio. For example, my passion is leadership. The idea, the study of leadership, what makes people respond to certain personality types. Why do people follow? How do people follow? But in the enclave of leadership, I like to focus on charismatic leadership. That's my specialty. That's my passion. Since I was a child, I was always looking for how charismatic people move and maneuvered on the world stage. But the leadership aspect is the generic aspect of things, which I always study. But the small piece of that is the charismatic leadership component. When it relates to diversifying your portfolio, you may operate in a general sense, but you also specialize within that general sense. Diversification is important because when one thing falls by the wayside, something else picks it up. I was reading a Donald Trump book some years ago, Art of the Deal of some sort, and he talked about having 5 or 6 different deals going on at the same time, so that if one deal fell by the wayside, he didn't really lament over it because he had other 4 or 5 others going on at the same time. When you have different things going on that's going right to your goal and aspiration, you don't really lament about one thing falling by the wayside or one stream of income not coming in or one idea falling by the wayside. You also pick up things because you've been having this conglomerate of opportunities and ideas flowing at the same time. So diversify your ideas, diversify your economic portfolio, diversify your lifestyle so that a lot of things are going on in tandem with the focus where you want to go, but there again, there are tentacles allowing those things to happen without you having to worry about one thing making it or breaking you. Third and lastly, it's important to understand that the charismatic doesn't rely on any one person. The beauty of today, more than ever, and I go as far as to say that the internet is the greatest thing civilization has produced in 12,000 years. The internet allows you to be a nobody. Allows you to be someone who, like this conversation here, is comfortably relaxed, talking about whatever they feel like they want to talk about, and 6 billion people may or may not be interested, but the bottom line is you have the medium. When you don't have to rely on one person or one medium or one dynamic to make or break you yet again, you have nothing but power at your beck and call. A lot of times, many people aren't utilizing the resources of multimedia and internet to the fullest potential because they like to perhaps play games, do other things, but really it's a medium by which whatever you're doing, whatever idea, service, philosophy you want to put out there, you can do it because now the internet has allowed you that affordability. Now, when I say diversifying and not relying on any one entity, I think it was Frederick Douglass said, power concedes to nothing but power. It never did and it never will. In other words, when you have power, in this case, internet power, information power, or whatever thing you're trying to get across to the world stage, when you have power, the only way you can attract other power or have people respect you based on the power is the fact that you had to start out with power. Think about it. Even if you're in relationships, if you're in a relationship and you come off weak, please let me take you out. You're very attractive. I need to see how I can add value. Obviously, that conversation doesn't go that way, but you think about it in your mind. Obviously, if the person can pick up on a cue suggesting that you're operating from a position of weakness, that person doesn't respect you as much. And so, therefore, the person kind of folds their arms and says, okay, show me your value. And you jump through hoops trying to get next to this person because that person is the only person that you want to connect with at that point in time. But there's 2 things going on. One, you're showing weakness, which the person doesn't respect because the world doesn't respect weakness. It only respects strength. And 2, you're not showing that you have other opportunities. When a person comes to a situation as if they have other opportunities, that this one thing doesn't make or break them, or this one person doesn't make or break them, it's a different attitude. What happens when you come to a situation where people feel like, I'm coming to you because I find you attractive or I like you. But rest assured, if we don't connect, I have other options. The person feels comfortable and confident and, let's say, praiseworthy the fact that you came to that person when you could have went to other people, but you're not saying that I'm putting my eggs all in your basket. I'm more or less sharing my power with you with the understanding that if you don't reciprocate, then I have other opportunities. That is a form of mutual beneficial success when both parties get what they want, but more importantly, it's a sense of power being utilized as leverage and accessibility. So when you look at the charismatic lifestyle, all these things are not just what you do as a strategy, it's a mindset and mentality that you embrace as a reality. So let's go over it. 1, charismatics oftentimes will use frugality as a means of staying in the game. 2, diversify your portfolio by having information, product or services that may not have all the tentacles attached, but they invariably have some synergy, whereas one thing kind of flows in line with something else. But you're not relying on any one thing to make or break the foundational principles that it lies on. And 3, never rely on any one entity or person to make or break, again, your success. Have an attitude of success, strength, and understand that the only thing the world really understands respect is power. That is what I would presume to be the foundation principles of developing the charismatic lifestyle. Obviously, reading, looking at human nature, studying psychology, the great works of Ayn Rand, Niccolo Machiavelli, all those individuals kind of lay the foundation towards you become more charismatic, but also developing the charismatic lifestyle. My name is Edward Brown of the Co-Edge Image and Charisma Institute, and our website address is www.core-edge.com.